Alrighty, traders. John Howell here. You know who it is. Your number one market trader for the market update. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So, you know what day it is? What day is it? Some people saying, John, I have no idea what day it is. You tell me. Well, I guess we're both in trouble then, aren't we? Anyway, first thing in the description, guys, free trading course, free training. Go get the help you need. Actually, the free trade, for you guys that are struggling right now, phase number 1 in that free trading course is about the biggest mistakes you're making and how to overcome them. So you're going to really enjoy that. So here's what I got to say about the markets. Looking at the markets right now, one of the big things that I'm seeing right now is that we are continuing to be obviously on a downward slide, bit of a nothing day today. But here's the big thing that I really want you to think about. If we're looking at the actual stock market itself, we can see how obviously we got the pullback through here, and it's so fascinating, isn't it? Do you remember, traders? Look at this here. You remember this, right? As the market was rising, I was doing videos saying, don't get sucked in, 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 right? And then suddenly, boom, here we go. Same for gold and silver, right? Look at this here. When gold was going through here, I'm like, don't get sucked in, don't get sucked in, don't get sucked in, don't get sucked in. Right? And then it goes, right? So now we're doing this through here. So what's going on? Where are we headed? What's coming? So the big thing that I really want to sort of focus on here is the big picture. The big picture for me is personally focusing on this weekly charts. And look at this here. The weekly charts really give you a good, clear picture on where we are right now in the markets, right? Are we changing trend? Are we not changing trend? Are we likely to find a bottom soon? Etc., 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 right? So look at this here. So if we have a look through here, we could see, and by the way, did you see that? I recently saw that Jay Powell statement that came out. Oh my goodness. If that Jay Powell statement does, that Jay Powell statement says, I don't care what's going to happen. You're going to go through pain. The unemployment rate's going to go up and the market's going to crash. And I don't care what you say. We're doing this. It's so fascinating. Let me talk about this here, because the really interesting thing is that they came out here and someone said, John, you're wrong because Jay Powell gave a bullish statement. It's ready to go. Here we go. So focus on the weekly charts. What do we see here? So on the weekly charts, we have what? We have a downward trend through here, don't we? Right? We have a downward trend. We have a down low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now look what's happening, right? So we're probably going to get something like this. And look where we're headed. Look, this is happening right now, and we're heading towards what? September, October, November, December. Now, traders, here's the thing. I just recently, literally 10 minutes ago, as I'm doing this recording, got off a private coaching session with my private clients. Oh my goodness, it was such a good session. Talking to them about what to focus on right now, the big picture. Oh my goodness, so incredible. And the big thing that I really want you to focus on and really think about this when it comes down to trading is this, okay? When it comes down to trading these markets, the number one thing you should do, the number one thing that any trader, right? Noughts and crosses. Who's going first? I'll go zero here. I'll go zero here, and I'll X you out, okay? The number one thing that you should be doing before you open up your chart, number one thing is what pattern, what setup are you looking for? That's the number one thing, okay? Because if you go to the market just trying to find something to trade, wrong, you get sin bin, you get the bench, right? Actually, it was, when was it? Yesterday morning, I was at the gym and I did my gym workout, did some cardio, and I hopped in the sauna for 20 minutes. And then one of the rugby league players, the first grade rugby league players came and sat down. Now, I didn't recognize him. I'm like, oh, what do you do for crust? He's like, oh, I play footy. I'm like, who? And he plays for you guys in Australia. It's Parramatta Eels. For you guys that are familiar with rugby league. Anyway, so I was talking to him, and And we're just going through a lot of things through there, and we're talking through there. But I'll get back to that story in just a minute. But the whole thing about about going in with the markets is the big worst mistake that you can do, right? Is go to the markets and just trade willy-nilly, right? It's just like, oh, I'm just going to trade willy-nilly and I'm just looking for something to trade. That's the number one worst mistake you need to do, right? The most successful traders and what's helped me do so well out of the markets is, guess what? When I go to the markets, I'm not trying to find anything that looks like a good trade. No, I'm going to the markets and I say, okay, cool. I have a trading setup, okay? And I just finished a really good trading session with my clients. And I have a trading setup, and within the rules, right? I know exactly what type of setups, what does my setup look like on the charts? What does the rules say? What does the setup look like? Then I'm going to go to the markets. Make sense? Now I know what I'm looking for in a good setup. And that's where most of you guys may be going, most of you guys are going wrong right now. You're like, oh, I'm going to buy the market right now because I think it's a good idea. Wrong. Because how do you build confidence? My fellow bumblebees in the chat box, right? Some people are saying, what's a bumblebee? All right. So what's a bumblebee? A bumblebee is the opposite to what I was just saying. A bumblebee is a person that goes to the markets and wants to trade every single thing that moves with no plan. He's all over the place. That's a bumblebee. No bumblebees in my chat box. All right. Throw that bumblebee away. What are we? We're professional traders. What is a professional trader? He has a plan. He trades his plan. What does that simply mean? Before you look at any of this sort of stuff here, before you look at it, what are you looking for? What is the setup that you're after? Now let's go to the market and find that setup. Aha. See how that's different? We're not going to the market to try to find a setup to trade. We know what a good setup is, and then we go to the market to find it. Aha. Now we're talking, right? Now we're on to something. Because if we know what a really good setup is, that's going to win more times than not, which my setup 90% of the time is going to generate a profit, guess what? Over that time, when I go to the markets, I'm looking for those setups. I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking for those setups in the markets. Makes sense? So that's what you want to be focused on with the markets through here. And looking at the stock market right now, we are continuing to make lower highs and lower highs. And basically, guys, we probably have a lot more pain to come actually in the stock market, and probably even in the mining sector as well too. Mining sector possibly going to continue down as well too. Gold looks like it's about to break its new lows. So if the stock market does keep doing what I think it's going to do, which is down, we're probably going to get a much more flushing effect happening with gold as well too. So gold, silver, mining sector, everything's going to get hit pretty hard across the board there. Again, even like things like GDX right now is coming back down. Yeah, now when I say hit, they're probably going to get hit, okay? But here's the thing. I actually don't see a lot of downside coming out of the mining sector and gold and silver. I could be wrong, so don't shoot the messenger, right? But the thing is this, right? When I'm looking at the stock market and looking at the mining sector, I do see that we may actually have a bit more downside to come through here, right? But I don't see us coming back down towards these 1600 levels. Now, again, I could be wrong with that, right? But I do believe we're probably getting towards the end of this move here. So I believe we're probably going to see something like this happening soon. If we do get a bit more downside to come. The reason why is because we've just spent so much time. If I look at my weekly charts, we've just spent so much time down through here that to me, it looks like that, yeah, we need at least a bit of a pullback through here, right? So we need at least something like that, and then maybe go like that, okay? So that's what I'm seeing through there when it comes to the good old the mining sector and so on and so forth. And the same thing for looking at the same thing when looking at the good old stock market, and also Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies as well too. They also look weak as well too. So all in all, traders, I would not want to be fighting this market right now. The big picture by looking at this weekly charts is simply down, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. The trend is your friend until the end, and guess what? The end of the trend is not there. So just stick with your friend, and you know what your friend is, right? It's the trend. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. Go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.